Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Trading Academy. Thank you for stopping by once again. This is the last segment of the show. We'll fix that on the edits, but on the last segment, we covered some concepts on how to use these markets in your retirement accounts, whether it's a 401k, IRA. It does start with saving, but then it's how to use that capital that you do have in there efficiently by using leverage with options, futures, forex, depending on how short you are, or maybe you have plenty in there and you just want to protect it. So it's having the right asset that's designed for that. And we have classes specifically on those retirement accounts. We had a lot of people texting in for that. Congratulations to those people that took that first step. Sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, is take that first step, because once you take that first step, it's a lot easier to take that next step. Simply just text the word investing to the number 210-210 for 2 seats for an investing class specifically on retirement accounts, retirement strategies on how to get started, building one, or protecting one if you already have that started. Text investing to the number 210-210 right now for 2 seats, and that's one for you and a friend. So Al, on this last segment here, we have a lot of topics that we covered already: the income strategies, the wealth strategies, which is retirement. But the key to trading and investing is actually where to get in, where to get out,
That's right.
Have the least amount of risk, the most amount of profit opportunity. And how you do that and find that is at or near a turn in price.
Right.
Now people are thinking, well, how do you pick the exact spot to buy or sell? Well, the great thing about trading and investing is you don't need to. Most people think that, though. And I think we talked about this in a show a couple of weeks ago about buying in a zone, because you're not going to pick the exact price. It's not impossible, but I would say it's darn near impossible to do that. So you pick your zone where you want to be a willing buyer or a seller, and it's supply and demand at its finest. I want you to kind of explain what that actually looks like on a price chart, because that's where you get your data. That's where you should be making all your decisions, is on a price chart.
Yeah, and what Josh is talking about when he's talking about a zone, it's an area, call it a band, that indicates where institutional buyers are or institutional sellers are. And what moves price, the prices turn at a point at which the institutions are active, whether it's buying or selling. And that's really the most important thing, is identifying those turning points, which is almost always caused by institutional selling and buying, and then determining how far the price is going to go once it's turned. That's your profit potential. Most people try to make this way too complicated and think that in order to be successful, you have to use something that is a mathematical formula or something that you can barely understand. That's not true. That's maybe what Wall Street wants you to believe. But those zones, that band or that zone, is an area where the proper strategy in our investment strategy, which we call core strategy, was built to identify those zones. A demand zone or a buy zone is where there could be millions of buy orders, institutional buy orders, that are inactive. In other words, they're just waiting for price to hit that particular zone or that band for them to become active. That's what moves price. If it's a buy zone, those buy orders, once they become active, will move price up. It's the same. It's that concept of supply and demand. When there's more demand for something, in other words, more buyers, price will go up. And then what happens when you reach an area where the institutions want to sell? That's something you have to identify too. That's what our core strategy does. It shows you how to pick where the institutions are going to be selling, because they've determined that price is overvalued at that particular point. You want to be trading right along with them. In fact, you want to have your trades set beforehand, so as soon as the price hits those levels, that you're either in a trade or out of a trade. And one of the issues I think that impacts people these days is that so many of the trading activity is done with algorithms, with the auto systems. And if you try to just sit and watch the movement of something, and then you try to do kind of in your head some analysis, or you're going to do some fundamental analysis, and then you try to enter the trade, by the time you've done that, it's too late. The movement, the majority of the movement has already taken place. So we'll show you how to preset a trade based on what the institutions are going to do in the future. So we're forward looking, and once you have that set, you have it set with your entry price and with your exit if you're wrong. So you always have the knowledge you're going to have a small loss if you're wrong, and then also your exit if you're right. And one of the mistakes people make in trading and investing is they don't know how to identify their exit points. And they don't know how to identify the proper entry point. We see every time we have a class, Josh, somebody comes in and says, I understand the concepts of what I'm trading. I just don't know when to get in and when to get out. I don't know how to do that. That's really important. In fact, that's the most important thing is becoming a successful trader investor, is identifying when to get in and when to get out. That's what our strategy is designed to do. And in these classes that Josh has been talking about, we'll show you how it works. We'll show you, we'll demonstrate how our strategy works, why it's so effective, and why we were able to get a patent based on any type of trading that you're going to do. If you want to be a stock trader, mutual fund, futures, forex, options, crypto, short-term trader, a day trader, more of a swing trader, long-term investor, this strategy works and keeps it simplified so you don't have to use a different strategy for different goals and different objectives.
Yeah, if you want to be introduced to the strategy, simply just text the word investing to the number 210-210, and we'll show you how that strategy works. Text investing to the number 210-210. One thing I want to address here, Al, is there's always the next big thing or the hot thing on the internet, especially with social media. And if you ever click on, especially in the financial markets, us being in the industry, we get bombarded with that stuff all day long.
Right.
If you have a Facebook account or Instagram or InstaFace or a Faceback or a Snap whatever, you're always getting bombarded with these ads of AI. That's the next big thing, is what everybody's talking about. So I've actually had a lot of people coming into these investing classes and saying, hey, what is the AI strategy that you guys are using? And there's no magical indicator. There's no artificial intelligence that's going to pick you the right zones and all that stuff, because trading and investing, as Al was alluding to earlier, is based off price action. It's based off a price chart, and it's reading that chart. It's like a story. So it's understanding how to read that story, and that's where you place those zones based off the strategy, which is our core strategy, and then you put low risk, high reward, high probability entry points. There's no magical indicator out there that will do that for you, and I probably will say though probably never will be, because the markets continue to evolve based on volatility and all that. And if you have something that says when to buy and sell, if that was actually the case, everybody would be doing it. But that's why it's a skill. It's a skill that you got to build. And that's why we teach that skill here at the Academy. We're a state-of-the-art facility here right in Bloomington. We have multiple classrooms. I don't know how many computers we have in there. And it's teaching the skills on how to read that price chart, how to make smart decisions, how to do that confidently. That way you can trade like an institution and not against them. Because that is the key, is trading like them. And you don't have to be an institution. You don't have to have tons of money. Actually, Peter Lynch, as you talk about a lot of times, has a quote out there, is if exploited, the retail trader or investor, that's the public, they actually have a built-in advantage over the institutions. And it's really because they or us or we can get in and out of our positions pretty much at a snap of a finger. The institutions cannot, because they're moving millions and billions of dollars in the markets. And that's the great opportunity that we do have. So, Al, we've had a great show here today. These go by so fast, and I know we have a lot more to discuss. In real quick, in about 40 seconds, explain a couple things that they're going to learn in these investing classes.
Well, you'll learn why price moves, how we can take advantage of that, and you learn about the different assets and which one or ones might be most appropriate for you. You'll learn about risk management, basically all of the things that you need to know to have the opportunity to take advantage of the market. I mentioned before, success is when preparation meets opportunity. The opportunity is there. We're going to show you how to be prepared so you can take advantage of these opportunities. And by the way, I hate to admit this, but I've been doing this for a long, long time, and I don't think I've ever seen a market that has as many great opportunities as we're seeing right now.
Al, we've done a lot of these shows and segments, 1,000, almost 1,100 episodes on the podcast. And there's been several times I ask you, hey, in 40 seconds, can you explain this? You were almost exactly 40 seconds. I want to give you a round of applause for that, just because I'm really happy for you all. That was a good job.
Let's hear some applause.
That's worth some applause. So I want to invite you guys to an investing class. Yes, we do have a little bit of fun in these classes too. We like to have the banter back and forth. And, thanks for everybody watching the YouTube stream live as we're doing this. Just go to Josh Lopez on YouTube. But I want to invite you to an investing class to get started with these financial markets. It takes that first step. That's up to you. We can provide you with the knowledge, the information, but you got to follow through. I want to inspire you to do that. Simply text the word investing to the number 210 right now for 2 seats for an investing class near you. We have these classes all across the metro. One for you and one for a friend. Text investing to the number 210. Let's hear today's OTA tip of the week.
Well, let me start by quoting C.S. Lewis. Quote, "You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending." End quote. Just remember, there's no right time. There's just time and what you do with it. So stop waiting and make the best of the moment you're in now. Your life is right now, so start living it.
I like that. That's always the hardest step, is getting started. Driving somewhere to go see what's up with something. But once you get there, you're like, you know what? It was worth the trip. I'm glad I did that. You don't want to be living your life, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. Get started, and get started today. Text the word investing to the number 210 for an investing class near you. Investing to the number 210. As always, same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.